everyone. I'm Christiana, and it's nice to meet all of y'all. I'll be talking about transferable skills in digital literacy using Padlet as my base. So let me share my screen and oops, let's start on the first one. All right. So I've already seen that you guys have been using Padlet for your homework from day one, which is really great. I'll also be talking more about it as well, and we'll actually sort of be doing it as if using it in a classroom with students. But first, let's talk about digital literacy. It's the future. Digital literacy is more and more important, I think, every day and every year, simply because so many people use the internet for everything, whether it's for their day-to-day life, like going on Google Maps, finding a recipe, or something more serious like job hunting, communications with family and friend. It's a really big part of our life now, and I think it will continue to be more and more important. 99% of adults 18 to 29 use the internet. That's just about everyone in the United States. And we want our students coming to the US to be able to use the internet to get all of the same opportunities as those who are already here. All right. There are challenges with that. Many immigrants need help with navigating the digital world, not only with English vocabulary, right? Log in, sign up, download, tabs, right? There's really specific vocabulary that's going on and that we need to teach them. But also in general, if they've never had access to their own computer, to their own smartphone, setting up the internet in the US can be difficult as well. And that's something that we have to teach them no matter what level of English they're in. All right. And this is, again, another challenge is that they have to use it in their daily life. So practice makes progress, and we in the classroom have to bring that in. The ILC tries to improve students' relationship with technology by integrating it. And one of the first ways that we do this is that all of the students have a Gmail account that we make for them. We encourage them to use Google Classroom. And so all of the Google things like Google Slides, Google Docs, Gmail, just so they get used to it in the class. But I want to talk about how we need to pull that for something a little more. All right. Oops. All right. So transferable skills. All right. So if they have their own Gmail account, they can go and use Google Slides. They can make their own PowerPoints. I have my students make their own PowerPoints. You'll get to see that in a little bit. But then what we also want to see is that they can transfer what they learned from Google Slides to something new, like Canva, right? And this is because what we're looking for is not only for them to remember, right, the specific steps for one program, but to take those steps, tools, and be able to use them in a different program. So it just opens more opportunities for them in the future. Right? I love Google Slides. It's great. I also love Canva because you can use them back and forth, and it's so allows for more different opportunities, right? But beyond that, we need to use like different websites. So students should be able to recognize vocabulary, cues, and icons across platforms. So I have three right here. The Malden Public Library, which has tons of great services, free museum passes, along with the typical stuff like getting books, you being able to sign out DVDs. right? And so for them to be able to navigate a website like that is really important, even though it's not like endorsed by Google or ILC, it is still something that I want them to be able to do. And even if they don't live in Malden, they can then go, hopefully, to their own community library. The next one is Indeed, right? And this goes back to be able to use it for job opportunities, employment, finding jobs on their own without going into a classroom and expecting it to be done almost for them, right? And you can still find jobs, of course, like through newspaper ads, but it's becoming less and less common. More jobs are looking for employees using Indeed or LinkedIn or another job site. So students really, if they're looking for a job, they really need to be able to use those websites to look for this information. All right. And then the last one is very COVID specific. It is the CVS pharmacy website. So when COVID hit, we all know that lots and lots of things immediately went remote. And that made it really difficult for some of our students. Getting to Zoom classes, that was really difficult. But then there was this whole host of other issues that come up when they don't have the ability to go out and talk to someone, right? They have to go online and sign up for things, make appointments, learn about different rules and regulations, and that can get really tricky. So along with teaching our students just how to use like Google Suite, Gmail, communications through that, or WhatsApp, we also want them to be able to take those skills from our classes and use it so they can go to any website and get what they need without our help. And this is where Padlet comes in. I absolutely love Padlet because when COVID hit, I couldn't have my own poster, in the back with decorations or anything. But I still wanted students to be able to share all of their work. And Padlet is really flexible and really easy. And it's also free, which is like probably the best part, right? But we can use it for online posters, classroom blogs, and maps. And it's very easy to set up as a teacher. And it's very easy to set up for students because they don't necessarily have to sign up for anything or give any information. They can just post and enjoy it. It's great for task-based learning, and I'll show you some of my old Padlets to show you this, because you can make it into this multi-step process where they work with familiar things like from Google and then put it into something new. And I'll show you different levels of Padlet as well. So let me escape from this, open my Padlet tab. So the first one is our travel blog. I did this with the students right before we had summer break, right before summer break. And this is probably the easiest version for students because they can just open up something here, which I teach them to look for, this pink button, and then they don't have to leave the tab. They just look for it, right? They all have their titles, their subjects. Then they found a picture and then they wrote something. And then I had them write little responses. Some of them did make accounts, which is nice, but it wasn't necessary, and it's not necessary because I also had them sign their name. But for something more multi-step, more full, could be like an end of unit project. And so we did this and we collected everything we've learned about the civil rights movement and put it onto this Padlet. And this one gets more complicated because then they have to do something on Google, whether it's this graphic organizer for different things and then upload it, or linking things to it, like videos, finding their own pictures, screenshots of their paragraphs, organizing it, right? Because with the blog, you just sort of do it in order. Who's the fastest typer? And then they hit submit. But this one, they have to think about where they're going to place their information and the order it's going to go in. Then the last one, which is the closest to the one that we're going to try out, is our Malden community. So this was all about different things in Malden, also sometimes in Boston, I think. Yes, in Boston, that students can access. And so I had students make a Google slide, which they then had to present, but then they also had to post it and save it. So in this case, they had to find where, this was my example, where it was in Malden and post it in the correct spot. So you can just see them all here. So now we're going to try it out. And I know that I only have like 10 more minutes, but I think we can do it in 10 minutes. So it's all good. All right. I guess I should also ask if there's any questions beforehand. All right. So our prompt, and this is how I would typically give it to the students as well. I love QR codes, and Padlet is very easy to use on your phone if you want to do that. But the link is also posted in the chat as well. So we're just going to go to it. All right. And our prompt is, what is a fun fact you learned while traveling? So one of the fun facts that I learned while traveling was in Cambodia. So I've lived in Massachusetts my entire life. And so I had never been able to see a pineapple grow. So I sort of assumed that they grew from the top like a banana. So when I got to Cambodia and I realized they grow from like the butt up, it was, oh, I was so excited. It was like the most surprising thing I learned on that trip, because I didn't think to Google it either. So that is my sort of fun fact for traveling. And it can be something super silly like this, or just something cute. It's a really good way to get students talking. They want to share about their experiences. And you can make the prompts, of course, more serious if you need to. But I thought this would be good for today. So this is what it should look like. This is the example, right? But I'm also going to do another one as well to show you right now. All right. All right. So you guys can do it with me if you already know how, and we can see it appear on our Padlet, but I'm just going to do another one. So the first thing you have to do with maps after you click the pink button is you have to pick a location, right? And you can just pick it by name, or you can drag. I'm going to just search by name, all right? I need to think. Museum of Science, Boston. So I just, not parking, duck boats. That's exactly what I want. I love the duck boats. And it'll appear, right? And then you can just pick to link, or you can search for a picture. So this is great because if students do not have pictures saved to their devices, it can take a lot of class time for them to either go on their WhatsApp or Facebook and look for these things. So you can just do an image search. So I just boats and I enter, and voila, they are here, right? They're so cute. And then you can just, pick the boat that you would like. in this case, this one. And then you can write a small caption. So the only reason why I chose this is because it came up when a friend from North Carolina came to visit me. And we were talking about the duck boats. And I saw later on a TikTok a little bit about them as well. So something I learned about Boston duck boat tours is that they're known for being very silly on the tour, right? I remember going to one as a child and the guy was a huge Celtics fan and we had a quack, right? It was very, very cute. I think it's charming. And then when you're done with whatever fact or opinion that is, you just hit publish and it should show up. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that and then we can look through them together. And I'll also answer any questions now too, if there's any. If you can't see my contribution on the Padlet, it might be because the map is only so big. You can move out like I'm doing now. And so we can see everyone's then. But of course you have to like drag if there's some in other places. We have to find them. So mine's all the way in Cambodia, so you have to find it. I think that'll fix it. How do you connect the map to Padlet? Okay, that's a really good question. So Padlet has a lot of different templates for teachers to choose. And when you're making a new Padlet, I think I can make one right now for y'all. You can make one and you can choose map, right? And then there's all sorts of different colors and you can make it really fancy if you like. They have different settings here. You can change the fonts and the colors. Yes, you have to zoom out to see everyone's, which is sometimes for students, if you're using this for this first time, you want to keep it cluttered to one area, maybe like Massachusetts or something. They can respond. So I have it set up right now that we can only like with a little heart, but you can change the settings. So whatever you want to do with your students, you choose the cog to modify it, and you can change it so that you can allow comments. You can grade, although if you're going to grade, I would be very careful because all students can see everyone's grades and they might not like that. You can choose none. You can make the settings as restrictive or as free as you want. Yes, keep working. Save. So now I think we should be able to have comments. And then you can just click one. Like this, perfect. I love Chicago. Oh, I haven't been here. Oh, I do know this flag. Good. And then, oh yeah, now you can, I change it. So now you can comment. How much is Padlet with maps? So Padlet is free for teachers, free for students. And students, because you guys do not have any, you didn't have to make an account or anything. It's totally public. Now, if you're concerned about that, you can make it so students have to sign up for it, or you can also filter through all of them as well. Yes. Yes, I can respond to a person's post. Let's go to this one. Oh, that's cool. So you comment on that, and then it looks lovely. And I'll also like it too. And you can see that we have Padlet accounts for students or for any of you who don't have Padlet accounts. It just won't say your name. How do I close the comments? So in your individual posts, you cannot close comments. Only the person who makes it can change it. And all you do is put posting here. Then you can click this or on. And you can also require filtering if you're working with a younger group of students, and profanity too, if that is a concern of yours. I would really encourage you to explore Padlet more and more. There's so many amazing things that can be done. And it's a really great tool because the students can see a collection of everything. So this is my presentation on transferable skills in Padlet. I hope all of y'all enjoyed it, and I hope you guys stick for the rest of the other presentators. Thank you so much for having me.